Good morning, second grade, and welcome to Language Arts class. Today we have the last self-check of the year, so that is exciting. And it is lesson 15, the last self-check. Okay, let's think about capitalization, how we capitalize, which words we capitalize in a sentence. So we always capitalize the first word of a sentence, and we capitalize names of people and pets. We capitalize important words in titles. Always the first and last word get capitalized, and also the important larger words in the middle. We capitalize the word I, capitalize names for God, capitalize naming nouns, capitalize the name of a city and state or a city and province, capitalize each word in an address, capitalize abbreviations of states and provinces, capitalize months of the year, capitalize days of the week and abbreviations for days of the week, capitalize abbreviations for names of months, capitalize titles of respect, capitalize abbreviations for titles of respect, capitalize initials, capitalize titles of stories, capitalize the greeting, closing, and signature in a friendly letter, capitalize names of holidays, and also names of countries. Let's think about the suffixes chart, how we add suffixes to the end of a root word. Now remember, suffixes are letters added to the end of a root word, and there is different rules for adding suffixes, so we're going to go over those. So when a word ends with CH, SH, S, X, or Z, we add ES, like churches, wishes, buses, foxes, and buzzes. When a word has a vowel set or ends with two consonants, or the suffix is a consonant suffix, just add the suffix. Number 3, when a word ends with silent E, drop the E before adding a vowel suffix, like we have bake. Bake ends with a silent E, so we will need to drop the E before we add the suffix. Number 4, when a word ends with a short vowel and one consonant, we double the consonant before adding a vowel suffix. Like run, it ends with a short vowel and one consonant, so we will need to double the consonant before we add a vowel suffix, running. Okay, number 5, when a word ends with a vowel and Y, just add the suffix, like key. In the word key, it ends with E and Y, so we just add the suffix. When a word ends with a consonant and Y, change the Y to I before adding a suffix, like fry. It ends with a Y, so we will need to change the Y to I before adding a suffix. Number 7, when a word ends with Y, keep the Y when adding the suffix ing, as in the word fly. When we will keep the Y when adding the suffix ing, because it would not be good to change it to I, because then you'd have two I's beside each other and that wouldn't look right. Okay, Number 8, when a word ends with silent E, keep the E when adding a consonant suffix, like safe. We keep the E when adding a consonant suffix, like safely. So you added ly, so you will keep the E. When a word ends with FE, change FE to VE and add S. Knife gets changed to V before you add the suffix. And then it will say knives. Number 10, when a word ends with F, change F to V and add ES, like leaf gets changed to V and add ES. When a word ends with FF, add S, like cuff. You just simply add S. Okay, let's now think about compound sentences. So compound sentences are two sentences joined together in one. And compound sentences have a certain punctuation mark in them. Do you still remember what that punctuation mark is? Let's look over here on the board. We have two sentences here, and we need to try to figure out which one is a compound sentence. So the first one says, Melvin washed the car and Jerry swept the sidewalk. And the next one says, Melvin and Jerry wash the car. Now they both have the word and in, so how do we decide which one is a compound sentence? Well, it's pretty easy because if you would look around the word and before and after it, and okay, like for this sentence, here is our word and, here's the sentence before, it says Melvin washed the car. Melvin washed the car is a complete sentence. And also, Jerry swept the sidewalk. That is also a complete sentence by itself. So that is a compound sentence because you have two sentences joined together into one. And then we have this one, and it just says, here we just have Melvin before and is Melvin a sentence by itself? It is not, so this would not be a compound sentence. Let's review the ways to spell the I before E rule. Let's just review that rule. It says use I before E except after C or when sounded like A, as in neighbor and way. So it would be good to try to memorize that poem so then you can know how to spell words a little bit easier. Let's now look into building sentences. And we want to add more words to this sentence. The sentence is, let's think of this sentence, the cat drank. So how could we make that into a more interesting sentence by building words to it? Well, if we add describing words to cat, we could say, the hungry white cat drank the warm milk this morning. And so then you have the hungry and white, it describes cat, and that makes it more interesting. You can kind of picture the cat a little better. And then we also added what it drank and when it drank. So that builds, if we add more words to a sentence, it can make it sound more interesting. Okay, when we think about an author, what is an author? Do you remember what an author is? An author is a person that writes a book. That is the author. And thinking about book reports, some of the things that we tell, let's think about some of the things that we need to tell when we're telling a book report. So we tell the book, the title of the book, of course, that we're talking about. We tell who the author is. We tell some of our favorite things that happened in the book and where it happened. We say who the main person was. But there's one thing that we don't tell, and that is we don't tell how the story ended because we want to make it sound just interesting enough so that the person will want to read the book report or the book that we are talking about. So we don't tell how the story ended. Okay, let's think about introducing people. And there is different ways to introduce people. If we have a 7-year-old to your mother, you're introducing a 7-year-old to your mother, you say your mother's name first. If it's a teacher and friend, you say your teacher's name first. And yeah, so we practice courtesy because kindness is a command in the Bible. Okay, let's think about our self-check now for today. You have about a book report in part A. Part B, you have to circle 22 letters that should be capitalized, so try to find those. And you also can follow the rest of your directions. In part K, you have penmanship, and these are all the capital letters again. Now, it's very important that you learn how to make these correctly, so if you're not sure, always look back and make sure you're making them correctly so that when you grow older that you won't be making letters incorrectly. So try to make them correctly. If you're not sure how, take time to look back in the back of your book there. And also you can, I'm going to send your moms the spelling words and it would be good if you would take time to write those too. So I'm going to let you work out your self-check. Be really careful with it and try not to look back. Actually, you know what? You may look back for the penmanship letters on how to do those, but then the rest of the lesson, try to remember not to look back for it. Okay, you have a good day.